The Poly Studio Focus Room Kit includes a Poly Studio P15 video bar, the Poly Studio P15 power cable, a USB-C to USB-C cable, a Poly GC8 touch control, the Poly GC8 power cable, a 10-meter USB-A to USB-C fiber optic cable, and a mini HDMI to HDMI cable. You have the option to pair your Poly Studio Focus Room Kit to one of the following Microsoft Teams Room PC options: an HP Mini Conferencing PC, a Lenovo ThinkSmart Core, or a Dell Optiplex 7080. Displays connecting HDMI or DisplayPort cables and Ethernet cable are not provided. For installation only, you'll also need a No. 1 Phillips head screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver. It is also recommended that you have a USB keyboard and USB mouse. Before installing, please ensure that you have a license and account for Microsoft Teams. Let's start by setting up the Poly GC8. First, loosen the screw on the bottom panel with a No. 1 Phillips head screwdriver. Press the rubber circles located on the left and right side of the bottom panel and slide the panel up to remove it. Now, loosen the screw on the cable guard with a flathead screwdriver. Remove the cable guard. Connect the USB-C end of the USB-A to USB-C cable to the Poly GC8. Connect the power cable to the Poly GC8 and a power source. If you want to allow users to share content in a conference using HDMI, connect the mini HDMI to HDMI cable to the mini HDMI port on the Poly GC8. Reattach the cable guard and the bottom panel. Connect the USB-A end of the USB-A to USB-C cable to the conferencing PC. Next, let's move on to the Poly Studio P15. Start by mounting the Poly Studio P15 according to the instructions included with your mounting kit. The Poly Studio P15 comes with a top-of-monitor mount. All other mounting options are sold separately. Then, simply connect the USB-C to USB-C cable from the Poly Studio P15 to the conferencing PC. Connect the power cable to the Poly Studio P15 and a power source. Poly Studio Room Kits configured with Microsoft Teams Rooms support 1 to 2 monitors when using a Microsoft Teams Rooms Pro license or a single monitor with Microsoft Teams Rooms Basic license. 2 monitors allow you to view far-end video and shared content simultaneously. Please note that if using 4K monitors, we recommend using a 1080p limited EDID emulator or having an administrator force the output signal to 1080p on the Microsoft Teams Rooms computer. This prevents the room controls from appearing on your screen instead of on your Poly GC8. HP Mini Conferencing PCs have ports for 1 HDMI cable and 2 DisplayPort cables to support up to 2 displays. If your second monitor cannot connect using DisplayPort, you can use the included DisplayPort to HDMI adapter to connect an HDMI cable. Lenovo ThinkSmart PCs have ports for 2 HDMI cables. Dell Optiplex 7080 PCs have 2 DisplayPorts and 1 for HDMI. If your second monitor cannot connect using DisplayPort, you must separately purchase either a DisplayPort to HDMI adapter or DisplayPort to HDMI cable. To install a non-4K screen, connect one end of the cable to your monitor and the other to your conferencing PC. Repeat with the second monitor. To install a 4K screen with 1080p limited EDID emulator, connect the cable to your conferencing PC and the emulator, then refer to your emulator's manufacturer's instructions. Repeat this process with the second monitor. When finished, ensure that your monitors are plugged into a power source and turned on. Finally, let's set up the conferencing PC. Use the Ethernet cable to connect the conferencing PC to an Ethernet port. Connect the power cable from the PC to a power source, then turn it on. In preparation for Windows out-of-box setup, you can also plug in a USB keyboard and USB mouse to the conferencing PC for easier completion of setup prompts. The conferencing PC may reboot more than once as it downloads and installs updates. Do not shut down the conferencing PC during this process. Now your system is properly cabled and powered on. Please follow the installation instructions for Windows and Microsoft Teams so that you can start your Poly conferencing experience.